Pine Grove News Live. And, yeah, hold on, folks, having a little problem. Yep. Pine Grove News Live. All right. And, yep, bear with me. Can't shut off my volume in the Mixler program. There we go. Oy, oy, oy. I'm using a different process, which I never should have done, right? So I'm in tablet mode for the first time. Just trying to figure it out. Should have done it at another time. Should have done it on the weekend. So, not being very cooperative. Yeah, wow. All right, so in the meantime, I'm trying to check, see whether we're live on YouTube. And we are. Yeah, everything's working there, but I don't know. All right, well, I try to figure this out. While I wait for, this thing to do what it's supposed to do. Dagnabbit. Okay, I think we're all set now. Cross your fingers. Anyway, it's Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. It's the 16th already of October. And things are still crazy. I just jotted down a note here. It's breaking news, so I haven't really found anybody really going into depth about it. But apparently the Democrats met with the president and concerning the Syria thing, to pull out what the Trump wanted to do, President Trump. And apparently some kind of vote was passed, I guess, resolution was passed. They wanted to know what the president's planning on doing, besides pulling out of Syria, getting our military out of there. Pelosi went up there, and I don't know, I heard from other Republicans later on saying that she wasn't really trying to do anything. And also from the Democratic side, they were saying that, President Trump was being very disrespectful to Speaker Pelosi, and she was not being cooperative, not trying to get anything done, basically demeaning the president. And anyways, the little childish behavior that's going on, I can't blame Trump for it. I mean, he's been attacked from these demigods, demon rats, since he's been since he's been in office. And the one thing I have to say, if those 11,000, and I think we have, here's an article right here, okay, from World Israel News. 11,000 ISIS fighters ready to break out of the Kurdish prisons. I've actually seen some video too, because when Turkey was shelling the surrounding areas, I believe that some door was open, and I don't, it said that maybe some ISIS fighters left through the door. Not many, but in any case, still got this article with 11,000 ISIS fighters ready to break out. You know what? I say? What happens when prisoners normally break out of a prison? Especially if they've, been convicted of murdering, killing somebody. I mean, you go out and track them down, right? And what do? They don't surrender. You have to shoot them. I mean, maybe Trump knows what he's doing. Maybe these 11,000 fighters will break out. but they're all in one area, right? So I don't know. The U.S. doesn't have to do it. Israel could do it. Just drop a bomb on top of their heads and take out the 11,000 just like that. I'm not a person who's for killing in any way anymore. I mean, I am patriot. I do believe in protecting what's mine and my family specifically. If somebody wants to threaten them, they're going to get a fight. They will. I hold no qualms about that. So maybe he does know what he's doing, and even if he don't, I mean, he's a businessman. He's not a foreign, I don't know, diplomat. And Pelosi was talking to Trump. I mean, he is the commander in chief. He is the head of our military. He has the right to do and make those changes if he wants to. Yes, he has advisors. Yes, he should probably listen to them all. But hold a meeting and speak about these things when she should have the utmost respect for him. Not just. Anyways, that's what's going on there. Like everyone else, I'm getting tired of it. I mean, I'm getting tired of the Democrats, the way they've been treating the president, just because they haven't gotten their way. And we know who they are. So they are people who do not have the America's interests at heart. Let's just go on with the other news. Yeah. I don't know why I got this one from. U.S. Apaches give Turkish-backed fighters brutal reminder with the show of force. Yeah, American forces are pulling out, but there's some that are still in the area, special forces. And I mean, that's what these U.S. Apaches did. Turkish fighters fired on these American soldiers, and that's the wrong thing to do. Believe me. Fire will be returned. And, these Apaches, they are ferocious helicopters. In any case, I mean, I don't know. What do you think? You think you think we've it's about time that we've stopped interfering in other people's affairs? I mean, some people can ask us, but I don't know. I'm as an American, I'm tired of giving all my money to these countries, and most of them really do not like us, but they'll take our money. I'm really tired of seeing a lot of my money disappearing, and we're just paying too much. I mean, I haven't received a paycheck except 2 years ago when I was rehired again, but in like 20 years. I normally, get paid as a contractor. And you get, check, whatever, money orders. But I don't take out, anyways, these things that they take out of your paycheck. I mean, income tax, state tax, federal tax, FICA. I think it's the same thing. That's Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare. And now I have, smaller payments taken out for my eye care. So there's a lot of money that's taken out of my check. And I don't agree with paying that to the government. We shouldn't have to. We didn't originally do that. We did not pay the government income tax. Somewhere along the line, though, that we were talked into it and we agreed to it. And now they've, they're just abusing that. And that's all they care about. Take as much money as they can from you. And that's, government's too big. And that's, everyone knows about that. But this other thing, I think there's another article in here, this one right here, that we need to worry about because we talked about this a couple days ago when Turkey started invading Syria, you know, going after the Kurds. You remember the coup? We talked about that, and Edgerton surrounded the military base that housed these 50 nuclear bombs, U.S. nuclear bombs. Now, this guy, and Trump is seeking economic sanctions against Turkey, and Erdogan, or whatever you pronounce his name, says that he doesn't care about the sanctions. He could just go and surround that base and take over that base. And it's got 50 nuclear bombs in it. What do we do then? Because we don't like what Turkey is doing, apparently. I think that's a very big problem. Very, very big. 50 U.S. nuclear bombs. We'll probably be hearing about that story more. You watch. And, this one, I guess this was put out yesterday. Bomb cyclone could strike Northeast Wednesday, unleashing intense rains and winds. And they build that up, don't they? Well, in case anybody wants to know, it is 6:11 p.m. on the East Coast here in southern New England. Okay, in that area predicted for this bomb cyclone. And yes, we have rain. Just started about an hour ago. It's not raining hard. There's no wind. But the forecast is, rain tonight and tomorrow, and maybe even the next day, with half the day, stopping, and then the sun coming out Thursday. I believe it's Friday afternoon. Any case, no bomb cyclone here, at least not yet, unless they're planning for it, and we won't see that coming. Perfectly, normal storm in an area where it doesn't normally start. So who knows? Maybe, but as far as I'm concerned, it's normal. It's rain. It's fall. We get rain and we don't get rain. In any case, we need the wind to blow the darn leaves off the tree once they really start to change color. I mean, they're pretty colorful now. There's still trees out there with green leaves on them, man. It's the freaking middle of October. They should, the majority of them should be coming down by now. We've talked about this for the past year or two. Seasons have changed, moved, I don't know, forward or back, however you look at it, by at least 2 weeks. I've talked with other people about it. They agree with it. It's changed. Something has happened to the tilt. We know about that. The North Pole has moved over to the Siberia, Russia. And because of that tilt, the stress on the planet is more. We're getting more earthquakes, bigger, more storms, century to 1,000-year-old storms. Of course, I don't know if they kept track of storms 1,000 years ago, but that's how they're putting it. In any case, I mean, it's to be expected. Yep. If this so-called planet Nibiru, don't get me started on that because I've been studying that the past couple days. The old Samaritan text, the Anunnaki and the planet Nibiru, 3,600-year cycle, supposedly. Well, we'll find out because our planet has moved, is being, it is responding to something out there. Something that's around, something that's coming, something that came by and going away. I don't know, but we are to watch, signs in the heavens. We are to watch for that. And while we can't help being through the rest of them, the storms and the earthquakes and the volcanoes, another volcano spewing out in the middle of the ocean. Anyways, we can watch the heavens. I've never seen that Hunter's moon that big, that bright. I know I talked about it 2 days ago, but all right. So this from End Time Headlines: typical origins and tracks. Area of development: tropical depression, 15 forms in a very rare location for so late in the Atlantic hurricane season. Whatever, things have changed. We are to expect this, weather or climate chaos. I mean, come on, everybody, get on the same page. Is it global warming? No. And yes, there are days where it's warmer than normal. Records are being broken. There are other days, 50%. I would call it 50-50. Where, the temperatures, the polar vortex, all that stuff, the cold, there are places that are getting colder temperatures, more snow, records, being broken every season for the past 5 years that I've been doing news. Getting worse and worse every year. It's building up to a climatic conclusion. We all know that. We know what that is. I look forward to the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ. And these things tell me that, that it's on its way. He's on his way. He's coming. I don't know if you ever remember that little toddler. Her mother did a video of this little toddler, apparently, going around talking, pointing to the sky. He's coming. He's coming. You could barely make it out, but it was awesome. And then the child bows 3 times. The king is coming. I'm going to go find that and play it for you later. Now, all this is supposed to happen. Here we go with this one. This is the underwater volcano. Okay, erupted in Tonga. Ash and gas plume reaches 17,000 feet. That's pretty darn high considering it's a underwater volcano. Aviation Lana alert increased to orange. Oh, there you have it. There it is. As of 10:20 a.m. Increased their Lana alert to orange. I don't know what Lana is, but there you go. Now, where? Well, we just told you where, right? Tonga, isn't that out there in the Ring of Fire, South Pacific, I believe? Not sure. Vavu. Anyway, there is another picture of it. So, and this, I guess, was another earthquake, 6.4, that was reported for Mindanao, Philippines. Right there, Davao City. Right smack in the middle of that landmass, Southern Pacific. I believe that's the Southern Pacific. Let's zoom out a little bit more. Yeah, there's Australia. Well, it's more like the Southwest Pacific over there by north of Papua New Guinea and all that stuff. We've always having a lot of earthquakes down that area and further down on the east side of Australia, Solomon Islands, all that stuff. So, someone was talking the other day that at some point or better in over a month and a half, and I was trying to figure that out. Could be true, but I think we're overdue. I haven't listened to Dutch Sense in a while, so I don't know. I haven't had time. So, speaking of Nancy Pelosi and demon rats, Nancy Pelosi, we've always tried to update you on these politicians. We've been talking about it and what they get paid versus what their net worth is, either during their late term or during their lifetime term. And Pelosi's one of these lifers. She's worth 120 million now. Okay. And I guess Trump finally questions her corruption. And you can see on the right hand side there, there's other stories here. This is News Punch. It's pretty good site. Other ones on the right hand side you probably should go look at too. Confirmed Hillary and the CIA concluded or colluded with foreign spies to defeat Trump. I'm almost sure of that, but it didn't go her way, and that's why she was so shocked. Yeah. Anyways, let's go on. I thought this was pretty interesting. I mean, NASA, we call them NASA, never a straight answer, right? Never a straight answer, NASA. And we know, of course, the USGS everyone's fidgeting with the numbers because we keep talking about the increases in intensity and, frequency. And they hide the fact. They hide those. I mean, one second I'm getting a 7.4 magnitude earthquake alert in an email, and I don't know, a couple seconds later, I'm getting another one at a 6.9. How can they go and downgrade them like that? Anyways, this from Natural News. After detecting life on Mars in 1976 and sweeping it under the rug, NASA banned life detection experiments to hide the truth from the world. Yeah, we've heard about that, right? Little microbes in a rock or something, a sample. And then, because it was on the news. And then next thing you know, oh, no, it was something else, and then we never heard from it again. Well, I've heard some things recently, but I mean, why does Elon Musk, insist on getting to Mars right away? If there was never no life there, and if there was no atmosphere there, what's the rush to get there? You'd only die, unless you took part in the movie The Martian. You built plants inside, using your own poop as fertilizer. In any case, I've heard a lot of interesting things about Mars and the asteroid belt. I'm reading the story that I do not suggest people who are not well grounded in their faith. It's a story that I read once before when my faith was not strong, and it felt like I was in a black hole for days, maybe even a week. I mean, I was just utterly dumbfounded, confused, disoriented. It was one of the worst, rabbit holes, dark ones that I've ever been in. So why am I reading that stuff now? Because, well, I always have questions. We should always all have questions and seek the Lord for those answers. And I have. And believe it or not, He's given me the same material. Only this time I can discern it a lot more. Still have questions about some of it, but I'm not freaking out. I understand these things now. I've asked some questions that I guess normally someone wouldn't. I mean, I'll just throw this out there to you, okay? What if, yes, the Lord God created the lights in the heaven, okay? The lights are stars, planets, galaxies, solar systems that are reflecting the light from the sun that we can see. Okay. The other interesting thing, though, if you read Genesis again, he created light before he created the sun. At least that's the way it's read. And how the earth was deformed and void, without form and void. Well, why was that? What God said to Adam and Eve, right? After he created them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Replenish. Not go out and multiply, just leave it at that and fill the earth. No, it was replenish. Because they were there before. There were other. In any case, those are the questions I'm asking, and I'm getting some of the answers, and I'm not going to go any further because I just do not want to have any young person in their faith be caught up into that, because I know what I went through. And so I will just let the Lord give it to them when they need it. Whatever. But, sometimes it's hard that, just, trying to figure out, because you want to talk about it, right? And I guess having this platform, I get to talk about it. I don't get any answers back. I don't get, conversation. I don't get, rebuttals, or maybe, while I'm just talking about it. So that's just it. Any case. Why did I put this up here? Why are they banning experiments to confirm life on Mars? I mean, why would they hide all these things? They're hiding much. I mean, why would they go to Iraq? Some people know. Why would they go to Iraq? Have you ever asked the question? I mean, what were the pyramids made for? You think it was made just to put one king inside of them? No, as you know, what do they call that? That big stretch of desert. Valley of the Kings. Why do you think they're buried out there? Why would they just put one king or whatever in one giant, huge pyramid? There are many pharaohs. I'm just talking about, maybe your history is obviously not what they tell you it is, and it's not. The idea that you get from them, it's not the truth. It's all. Everyone has lied. They all have lied because they know other things. They know that life here was just different than what they're telling you. That's all I can say. It's different, and there's proof out there, and they're hiding it. Look at the Smithsonian, burying and all the bones of the giants, okay? We know that there were giants in the land because Genesis tells you. There are other books that tell you. There are, hieroglyphs in Egypt that show you that there were giants. You think that just because, there's this huge black person sitting on a throne, and you have the sheep or whatever standing out there looking at this person on the throne, you think that's just a metaphor or something? Why can't it just be as obvious as it is? This person was a giant. And most of these giants ruled. Most of these giants were offspring of who? Fallen angels. And there are many stories about them. And, there are many texts out there that you could read, and there's some that you probably shouldn't read. And, hopefully you'll find somebody who has read them, and they can tell you which ones they are and which ones not to go to, because they're just written by somebody else to confuse the heck out of you. In any case, so just another, confirmation that these people are just suppressing everything. They're suppressing stuff. I mean, look at, where is this? Thought for sure I downloaded this, or at least got this headline. MSNBC. I'm trying to remember his name, but he went out there and said that because they covered the debates, and apparently, this particular reporter stated fact. He said, we're going to cover the whole thing, but we're not going to tell you about everything. We're going to, and he goes on like that because he just blatantly comes out and says, yeah, we're only going to tell you what we want to tell you. That's basically what he said, with their agenda attached to it. Because, this guy was saying, yeah, there was many things Trump said, and did this and that. And he actually mentioned what he did, but he didn't elaborate. And he said he's not going to. I don't know. So, just goes to show you. I mean, you're not being told the truth, so you need to go seek it out for yourself. You really do. Anyways, I'll find that. I can't find it right now. Oh, here it is. Yeah, as soon as I say I can't find it right now, here it is right here. Meet the press. I mean, I have to. This news stations that I get here in Connecticut, they're all Democratic run. All Democrats. They are. MSNBC, CBS, CNN. I mean, it's the only news I get. No wonder everyone here votes Democratic. Well, the majority of them anyway. Because they've all been lied to and, been told what they need to know, not what they should know, or whatever. What they should know, not what's the truth, totally. Anyway, so.
President Trump held a campaign rally in Minnesota last night. There are parts of it we can't show you, or rather, there are parts of it we're not going to show you. The president's red meat vitriol wasn't new. Neither was his use of profanity, or his railing against the media, or his attacks on Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, or his anger at the, quote,
too busy looking at some other
impeachment
device.
None of that should go unremarked on.
No.
Because the idea that the president of the United States is doing all of those things on a regular basis is actually quite remarkable. We're just not shocked anymore. And the fact that we now expect the president to act that way when he's in front of a crowd of his supporters, that's also remarkable, not unremarkable. But what is even more remarkable about what happened at last night's Trump rally is that the president went further than he's ever gone before. So we are going further than we've ever gone before to say we aren't going to play the sound. We aren't going to repeat the president's vicious attacks on Hunter Biden.
All right, so that's it. Going to stop it there. I've already fed up with it because you just heard right there, he's not going to repeat what he said because it's a vicious attack. Well, what about what Pelosi's doing too? The constant attacks from the very beginning of his, his office. I mean, I've never seen that before, and I've seen a lot of presidents in office. In any case, I mean, even Clinton got impeached, but he still remained in office, didn't he? All right, let's go to some other ridiculous news. How about this one? How about we go to California and listen to another law that they passed recently, another ridiculous law. The California governor signs law granting Californian students free abortions. Yeah. We can't pay for this and we can't pay for that. And we're going to raise your gas prices so that we can get our fast train in here somewhere, even though we can't get grants from the government anymore. But we're going to do it ourselves. And in the meantime, we might as well pay for abortions. We might as well pay for all the people from, coming over from other countries who don't have a dime. We'll pay for them too. But anyway, that's just another stupid law. I can almost put one a day that they print out and I can put up there. Crazy. More craziness from D.C. put this up there first. Let's put this up there, this Fair Use Act. Hey, I'll wait for it to show up on YouTube. Okay. Not being cooperative. Okay, well now it's stuck there. Can't move it anyway. Oh boy. This is new. All right. Unresponsive right now. So I'm gonna try something else. Barely flipping this whole thing around. And wow. Okay. Yeah, it is it's stuck. Everything's froze. Didn't like that, huh? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. So anyways, I wonder if I could just there you go, something happened. There we go. Let's do this. Oh, there's a lot of things that are going wrong right now. Ooh. Oh, well, obviously they didn't like it. They must have heard me and now, yeah. Yep, they shut me off on YouTube. I am off. And they won't let me go back.